Welcome to the Jones College of Business Tech Tips. In this week, we're gonna go back to Excel and learn a couple of new tricks in Excel. We have been going over a lot of new artificial intelligence tools, but this week we're gonna go back to Excel and we're gonna learn a couple of tips that are very helpful for you. The first one is using Excel to insert data from a picture. You might have a picture with data. This will show you how to insert data from a picture directly in the worksheet cells. The second tip is making multiple pivot tables automatically. You create one and automatically create more pivot tables. So I hope you enjoy this tip. The first Excel tech tip is how to import data from a picture. So this is what we're gonna do in here. I got a website in here. I'm gonna take a picture of this data right here and put it in Excel. So I highlight the data that I wanna capture. Now I have the data. I'm gonna copy to the clipboard because you can also use the clipboard or you can save it as a picture file. It will do the same thing. Then I'm gonna go to Excel, and in Excel I'm gonna go to data from picture, and it gives me two options, picture from file or picture from clipboard. Because I have the picture in the clipboard, I'm gonna select clipboard. Excel will start analyzing the picture, and it will let me check some of the data that I captured from the picture, and it uses optical character recognition to make sure that it translates the data to text and numbers. So I'm gonna review this. It's asking me if this is correct. Yes, this is correct. Accept. There is no a period in there, so I delete that. Accept. That's correct. Accept, accept, accept. And we are done. So I'm gonna say insert data. And when you say insert data, notice what it does. It automatically puts the data in Excel, properly formatted with the values and the columns. I'm gonna insert a row in here. And in here, I'm gonna type department. This is headcount. This is FTE, and this is SCH, student credit hours. Now, I'm gonna go right here. Go to home, format table, format as a table. We got a table right there. I'm gonna add some totals in here. I'm gonna say alt equal, perfect. Alt equal, perfect. Alt equal, perfect. Now, if we go to the worksheet, we're gonna have that we have 2878 in here. 2878 is correct. 2334, in here we have 2335 and 33915. So as you can see, there is a slight difference between what Excel computes and what is in the Power BI. Very interesting, very, very interesting. So the next step is we're gonna show you now how to create multiple pivot tables from one pivot table. For this, we're gonna use the employee data here. We have some employees' names, dates, sex, location, job status, and salary. And we're gonna create a pivot table using this data. So we go to insert, pivot table, using that data. And in here, we're gonna use multiple things. We're gonna say, first of all, location, the status, sex too, and in the computation we're gonna use annual salary right here, and this is the way that it's looking. I'm gonna go to the design and select formatting a tabular way. I don't want the subtotals, so this is pretty much the data. You see that? No grand totals, so that's the data. Now, If I want to say, okay, I want to filter this by location. So now this is everybody. And I want to just select just Austin, select OK, and it will do that. And you can go back and switch. Now imagine that you have a very large pivot table with a lot more rows and columns. What you can do is that you can use a simple command to create individual pivot tables for each one of the locations. How do you do that? We go to the pivot table again. Under Pivot Table Analyze, select Options and select Show Report Filter Pages. And look what is going to happen. It's going to ask me, what should I filter the pages by? Location. That's what I want. And it's done. It created a pivot table just for Austin, a pivot table for home, for Nashville, for New Orleans. Automatically filtered. And of course you have the pivot table that is all in here. So this is how you can use a pivot table to create multiple pivot tables using the filter. Thank you very much.